For those of you that are on the Zoom, just to let you know, we will be starting very shortly. So for those that are here in the room, continue to enjoy your lunch, and we will get started momentarily. Thank you all for coming.
I have a mail for you. Please sign me here.
Alung Minglaba, Minglaba, Minglaba. Good afternoon. I am Zhou Tumhong, President and CEO of Burma Research Institute. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. This is our 8th hybrid congressional briefing on Burma. This afternoon is especially significant as we are honored to be joined by the Honorable Foreign Minister Do Jin Maong. We are extremely grateful for her presence at this critical time in Burma. Since the sham elections in Burma, the military has continued attacking civilians. Most importantly, the military regime led by Min Aung Hlaing poses a threat to the United States national security. A clear example being the rise of online scam operations, which the military regime has been deeply involved. The US national interests here include regional stability, trade, and investment. Again, we are fortunate to hear today from the Honorable Foreign Minister, as well as Wu Xingzhong, Chairman of the Chin National Front, and a member of the leading body of strategy and policy at SEF. I will pause here, and we will now play the video remarks by Wu Xingzhong. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation to deliver the opening remarks at this important congressional briefing on Burma. My name is Xing, Chairman of Chin National Front. I'm also a member of the leading body for strategy and policy of the Steering Council for the Emergence of the Federal Democratic Union, SCDF, Burma. I extend my sincere appreciation to Congressman Bill Hazinger for sponsoring this timely and necessary briefing. And the title of this briefing reflects the United States and we share common interests and values. Among them, countering online scam operations, safeguarding regional stability, and advancing trade and investment. I would like to focus on one central concern. The military regime in Burma has not yet demonstrated a political will required for meaningful dialogue. A public invitation to talks is not, in itself, evidence of sincere intent. Political will must be shown through concrete action, and that responsibility rests solely with Min Aung Hlaing and the military, not with the resistance or other political stakeholders. I would like to highlight the continuing attacks on hospitals, schools, religious institutions, and other civilian sites, which have grown more severe since the same elections. First, I respectfully call on the US Congress and the Trump administration to press the military regime to end these attacks. Second, I urge the United States to promptly disperse the $121 million appropriated for fiscal year 2026 and to sustain a comparable level of funding in fiscal year 2027. I appreciate that this appropriation also designates funding for Thailand and India to assist refugee living within their borders. Thus, I urge the administration to release $1 billion in Burma funds held at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, along with accrued interest, to support our ongoing efforts to end military rule and establish a federal democratic union in Burma. I firmly believe that a federal democratic union in Burma will serve the national interest of the United States. Thank you.
Thank you for these wonderful remarks. I will now invite Ms. Virginia Ferris, BRI Policy Advisor, to introduce our keynote speaker.
Thank you very much, Zoe. I would like to say it is indeed a great honor and privilege to have the Foreign Minister with us today. As Zoe has mentioned in the past, we have had other briefings here in Congress, and to have an esteemed member of the National Unity Government with us in person is really a great honor. I'm going to read her bio, which is extremely impressive, given her young youth years. So, Her Excellency Dawson Ma-ong was born in 1976 and is a prominent Myanmar pro-democracy leader, human rights advocate, and politician whose lifelong commitment to democracy and social justice began at an early age. In 1988, she joined the nationwide pro-democracy movement as a member of the primary students' union of North Okalapa Township during the historic 8888 uprising. She later became actively involved in the Dagon University students' movement in 1996. In 1998, she participated in commemorative activities marking the 10th anniversary of the 8888 uprising and joined campaigns calling for the release of political prisoners. For her peaceful political activism, she was arrested by Myanmar's military regime and sentenced to 28 years in prison. She spent 11 of those years incarcerated in the notorious Insen and Mandalay prisons before being released in 2009. Despite having spent that time in prison, following her release, she immediately resumed her civic and political engagement. She founded the Yangon School of Political Science to promote political education and democratic values, and established the Rainfall Gender Studies Students Organization to advance gender equality and women's empowerment. Her courage and leadership have received international recognition. In 2012, she was awarded the International Women of Courage Award by the United States Secretary of State. And in 2014, she was selected as a young global leader by the World Economic Forum. Within the National League for Democracy, she served as secretary of the Central Women's Committee. In the 2015 general election, she was elected as a member of the Hita-Shuda House of Representatives representing Yankin Township. During her parliamentary tenure, she served on both the Social Affairs Committee and the Public Accounts Committee of the Hidongsu-Shuta Assembly of the Union. In 2018, she was appointed by State Councilor and Minister of Foreign Affairs Daw Aung Suu Kyi as Myanmar's representative to the ASEAN Women for Peace Registry. And in 2020, she was elected again in the general election. Following the military coup of February 1, 2021, Dawson Ma-ong joined fellow elected parliamentarians in forming the committee representing Pidongsu-Shuda, the committee representing the union. She played a leading role in the CRPH Foreign Affairs Committee and has continued to advocate internationally for the restoration of democracy in Myanmar. She currently serves as a member of the committee representing Hidongsu-Shuda and as a union member for Foreign Affairs of the National Unity Government of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. As Minister of Foreign Affairs, she leads the National Unity Government's international engagement efforts and works closely with the Political Coordination Committee to strengthen cooperation with democratic partners and stakeholders. In addition, She serves as a Secretariat member of the Steering Committee for the Emergence of the Federal Democratic Union, CTEF, which was mentioned by the previous speaker, contributing to efforts to build an inclusive federal democratic system in Myanmar. So as you can see, throughout her career, she has remained steadfast in her commitment to democracy, human rights, gender equality, and the establishment of a peaceful and federal democratic Myanmar. I invite Dawson Mung to come and speak.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First and foremost, I just wanted to thank the Burma Research Institutes for inviting me to be here and your tireless effort to advocate to the Congress. And again, I also would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Representative Bill Weisenker for the sponsor of Brave Burma Ads and for his support in making this briefing possible. I really appreciate that. And also thanks all of you for joining here in person, of course, on Zoom. I really appreciate that. And again, thank you for inviting me. And it is an honor to appear before you to discuss not only the future of Myanmar, but also why Myanmar increasingly matters to the strategic interest of the United States. Myanmar is often described as a humanitarian tragedy of unfinished democratic transitions. Those descriptions are accurate, but they are no longer sufficient. Today, Myanmar has become one of the geopolitical fault lines of the Indo-Pacific. The choices made regarding Myanmar will shape not only the future of 55 million people, but also regional security, transnational crimes, maritime connectivity, and credibility of the rule-based international order. In short, what happens in Myanmar no longer stays in Myanmar. For many years, the international community asks whether the military could ultimately suppress the democratic movement. Today, that is no longer the central question. 5 years after the coup, one conclusion has become increasingly clear. The Myanmar military has failed to restore either order or legitimacy. Instead of stability, it has produced expanding armed conflict. Instead of governance, it has produced institutional collapse. Instead of security, it has created one of the fastest growing hubs of transnational organized crimes in the world. Myanmar today is no longer simply experiencing political instability. It has become a generator of regional instability. So military-controlled territory has become fertile ground for cyber scam syndicates, human trafficking, narcotic productions, illicit financial networks, arms smuggling, and forced criminality. These criminal enterprises do not stop at Myanmar's border. They target victims across Southeast Asia, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Europe, Africa, and increasingly the United States. This is no longer merely Myanmar crisis. It has become a shared regional security challenge. Myanmar occupies one of the most strategically significant locations in Asia. It connects South Asia and Southeast Asia. It links the Indian Oceans with the mainland Southeast Asia. It shared border with China, India, Bangladesh, Thailand, and Laos. Its stability directly affects regional supply chains, maritime security, migrations, border management, and economic connectivity. For the United States, Myanmar therefore matters, not simply because Americans support democracy. Myanmar matters because a stable Indo-Pacific depends upon stable states. Conversely, prolonged instability creates opportunities for transnational criminal organizations and authoritarian influence to expand. When legitimate state institutions collapse, other actors inevitably fill the vacuum. Myanmar has witnessed growing security cooperation between the military regime and external authoritarian partners. These cooperations include military assistance, aviation support, surveillance technologies, sanctions evasions, illicit financial networks, and diplomatic protections. Let me be very clear. This is not about asking Myanmar to choose between major powers. China is Myanmar's permanent neighbor. It will remain an important economic partner. A future democratic Myanmar seeks constructively and mutually respectful relationship with China, the United States, ASEAN, India, Japan, and all our international partners. Every sovereign nation has the right to maintain balanced foreign relations. Our concern is not any country's legitimate interest. Our concern is when external support enable continued violence against civilians, prolonged conflicts, weakens regional stability, and undermine the international rules that benefit us all. Ultimately, the real strategic competition is not between countries. It is between two models of governance. One model relies upon fear, violence, and impunity, and the other relies upon accountability, legitimacy, and public consent. The future stability of Indo-Pacific depends upon which model succeeds. Despite extraordinary hardships, Myanmar's democratic movement is doing far more than resisting military rule. We are preparing for peace also. Across many parts of Myanmar, local communities continue to provide education, healthcare, humanitarian assistance, and local administrations under very extremely difficult circumstances. At the political level, democratic stakeholders and ethnic resistance organizations have established the Steering Council for the Emergence of the Federal Democratic Union, known as SCEF. The Steering Council is the first structured political leadership mechanism bringing together Myanmar's major democratic and ethnic revolutionary organizations around a common strategic vision. Its purpose is not simply to coordinate resistance. Its purpose is to prepare for transitions, to maintain unity, to prevent fragmentations, to coordinate political strategy, and to build the foundation for an inclusive federal democratic union. In other words, while the military continues to destroy institutions, democratic forces are building new ones. So this distinction is important. Myanmar's future is already being built, not after the conflict, but during it. So the United States has consistently stood with the people of Myanmar, and we remain deeply grateful for that support. As Congress considers future policy, I respectfully offer 5 priorities. First, continue increasing pressure on the military leaderships and financial networks that sustains its violence. Second, expand humanitarian assistance delivered through trusted local and cross-border partners who can reach communities beyond military control. Third, deepen cooperations against cyber scams operations, human trafficking, and transnational organized crime. These networks threaten not only Myanmar, but American citizens and businesses. Fourth, continue engaging Myanmar's democratic institutions, including the National Unity Government and Steering Council, as a credible partner in preparing for the Myanmar's future. Finally, continue supporting and accountability, democratic governance, and institution building so that when political transition comes, democratic institutions are ready to govern effectively. These are not simply investment in Myanmar. These are investment in long-term regional stability. Myanmar should not be viewed only as another humanitarian emergency, nor should it become another arena of great power rivalry. Myanmar should instead be viewed as a strategic opportunity, as an opportunity to demonstrate that democratic governance, not military dictatorships, provide the strongest foundation for peace, prosperity, and regional security. Ladies and gentlemen, helping Myanmar succeed is therefore not an act of charity. It is a strategic investment in a more secure Indo-Pacific. The people of Myanmar are not asking the United States to fight our struggle. We are asking our friends and partners to recognize that our struggle and America's strategic interests increasingly converge. A democratic Myanmar would mean fewer cyber scams network targeting American citizens, fewer trafficking routes, more resilient regional supply chains, greater maritime security, more stable borders, and a stronger rule-based Indo-Pacific. Supporting Myanmar is therefore not only consistent with America's democratic values, it advances America's national interests. History will judge not only how Myanmar emerged from this crisis, but whether the international community recognized what was truly at stake before it was too late. And I believe we still have that opportunity. And thank you so much, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Foreign Minister, for this wonderful remarks. We will now turn to the question and answer session. A quick reminder, this briefing is being recorded and we will send the recording to our networks. So BRI has about 1,500 networks, which include the US Congress and the administration, the think tank, and other media. First, I have a quick question for our keynote speaker. My question is this. We all know the online scam issue has become more of a national threat to the United States. We all know that the military regime in Burma is deeply involved in that. And the Trump administration has been actively trying to dismantle the scam. Madam Foreign Minister, do you think that the United States can dismantle it without the help of the resistance group? What is your recommendation to the US government? Thank you.
Well, thank you. It is very clear that, as I mentioned in my remarks, and of course our steering council leaders, one of the steering council leaders, the chairperson of the CNF already mentioned about that, and who control where and how much extent can govern, even though military junta is controlling in Naypyidaw and the capital. Their source of incomes is also based on those scam centers, more or less related to the military junta affiliated border guard forces. So in this regard, it is very clear that they will not fully cooperate with the international community, even with US or China, whoever it is. They will not fully cooperate, it is very clear. So, and then who next? Who should be the alternative and credible partner to bring that situations and the rule of law. So as a Democrat, that's what we believe in democratic systems. Without rule of law, without promoting rule of law and exercising, able to exercise rule of law under the authoritarian regimes, United States government will not, fully and effectively cooperate and fight against these scam centers. So I think we are ready to cooperate in our capacity as revolutionary governments and also resistant forces. So those, because the people are suffering a lot, there are many, I would say, IDPs are also the victims of those scam centers. So there are many issues, spillover effects already affects our community and our neighboring country. So we are ready to cooperate in that principle. Thank you.
We have a mic. Okay. So I think I have to move around because so that I can see those who are online. Let me have a follow-up question, Prime Minister. How do you want the U.S. government to cooperate with SEF or NUG? How do you recommend the U.S. government, especially the Trump administration, to work with you? How?
I should stand all alone. Well, it is very clear that the reason, one of the reason why we organize a steering council is like the reality, what's reality on the ground is like ethnic organizations are controlling their territory. Of course, NUG is also our control territory, and we work together to become as a bloc and also representing collective leaderships, not just only to fight against this military rule, but also to lay out the foundation for the future Federal Democratic Union. So I would like to recommend that SEF as a bloc is ready to engage with the Trump administrations, and that will be, I think, much more effective way of working labor engagement. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. The floor is open now. Okay. Thank you. Please identify yourself. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lon. I'm a graduate student from University of Wisconsin-Madison. So I came all the way from Wisconsin because it is very, very interesting, and yeah, I would definitely love to engage. So I have two questions here. So firstly, it's about, so right now, US is going to have a midterm election very soon. And also at the same time, there will be, there's also another priority about, war with Iran. So, as national unity government, what would be the key milestones, maybe more towards a short-term perspective of, advocating about, Myanmar's issue to the U.S. government? That's the first one. And the next one, so I think it will be, it could be more towards like multilateral, but then what would be the role of ASEAN? Because right now ASEAN has been they're trying to negotiate, but then their negotiation is very pretty leaning towards this dictator junta kind of favored position. So it could be a little bit multilateral, but yeah, I would love to know about how you are also incorporating ASEAN, in terms of Indo-Pacific, stability. Thank you so much.
Before you respond, the Honorable Foreign Minister, I wanted to be clear about our position as Burma Research Institute. We are a bipartisan approach. We don't want to talk about midterms elections. So, but that's up to the Madam Foreign Minister to respond. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Actually, yes, like Sia Zotomon already shared about that. Actually, not just BRI. I do believe that Myanmar issue is already on bipartisan. So that's why we don't necessarily need to talk about the midterm elections. What we need to focus is like our continued effort to advocate and working closely together with the bipartisans, the Congress, and also we need to focus on that.
So the second question is
ASEAN.
about ASEAN, right?
Right. Thank you. Thank you. It is very clear that in terms of Myanmar issue, even recently you might notice that the Secretary Rubio also make remarks about the ASEAN 5-point consensus and the role of the ASEAN centrality to approach Myanmar. So it is very clear on that, but we still have the two, at least, international, I will say, agreement or frameworks, ASEAN 5-point consensus in ASEAN, and also in Article 2669 in United States Security Council resolution. So I think this should be linked together. So the only thing is like, of course, some ASEAN member state, not as an ASEAN association, I will say, some of the individual member states are trying to bring military junta back to normalizations. But on the other hand, some other states are still stick to the ASEAN principle, ASEAN centrality, and ASEAN charter. So because without implementing ASEAN 5-point consensus, so there, what will be next? I think it's more than 5 years. So there is no progress in ASEAN 5-point consensus. I think the question is ASEAN should answer what next, because we are very clear that we are ready to cooperate in order to implement 5-point consensus, but military junta is not ready yet. So what we need from the international community is the pressure that military junta has to change.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to remind those who are joining on Zoom, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you.
I know Dr. Mao. So right now, United States are switch position from hello? United States switched the position from human rights and other issues to national security. So that's why all the security are totally switched to national security. So right now, Burma's situation tried to not improving, and it's dangerous for U.S. citizens because of the illicit drug, and also another one is the scam center. So these two are really affect to citizens of United States. Everyday killing, with the drug, also all the pension, the old people losing 12 billion last year alone. And because of the scam center. So what is your message to Trump administration? How to protect his citizen? And we want to know. I'm the U.S. citizen too, Burmese, American citizen. So our concern is, what is a message to from NUG to the current administration or Trump? That is one question. One question. Second question is, we are really challenging about Christian challenge for our ambassador Ujo Moton at United Nations. We need to keep him in the position, and if we keep him in the position, our people voice will be he represent all of the human rights abuse and all those issues. So, what is your message to United States? How to keep our ambassador to fight for us, for our freedom and democracy, and protect rule of law in Burma, and also United States? What is important? Those two questions for the United States citizen and current administrations. Thank you.
Great questions for our record. Please mention your name.
My name is Zhou Wen. I'm 88 generation student. I used to live in New York and Washington, D.C. over 36 years. So I'm always helping with, all demonstration Actually, I'm the graduate researcher myself. I'm an independent researcher in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go chat her. Thank you. Well, the first question, I think it's already, I already mentioned in my remarks. That is why I'm here, to share, to advocate, and also again, the credential campaign. It's a credential committee, and UN General Assembly is coming within a few months. So the role in this regard, the role of the United States, it's very, very important, especially B5. I think within the B5, if there is, nothing changes, and if there is this status quo continue, that is our request and our advocates' message, because if there is no space for the people, and if there is no space for diplomacy, what we can choose. So that is really very important. It's also very important to reduce the violence on the ground. If there is no space, political space, if there is no diplomatic space, if there is no choice for that space, what the people in Burma will do. So, and it is really very important, not just only for the continuations or they represent the voice of the people, but also it is important for the reduce and reductions of violence, de-escalations of violence on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I don't see. Oh, okay, here. Thank you. Matt. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Matt Welch, and I'm a volunteer with Burma Research Institute. And my question has to do with humanitarian response on the border of Burma and India. And specifically, there's three areas: Sagaing region, Magway region, and Chin State. Between the three states, there's now, according to the UN, over 1.6 million internally displaced people there. And my question, Honorable Minister, is what advice you have to the United States, what recommendations you'd urge the United States regarding their response and regarding the response of the international community for these internally displaced persons. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for the questions, especially, yes, it is very important for reach out to unhindering assistance of the humanitarian assistance for those who are needed, because the Thailand, India, traditionally many IDBs are based in border. So cross-border humanitarian assistance is really very important for those who are in border. But as you rightly mentioned, mainland Burma, Sagaing, Magway, Mandalay, it's very difficult to reach out to those who are suffering each and every day, that they're remote villages. They are not able to, they don't even have like kind of the IDP camps. They run away each and every day. So it is very much important that to put the pressure to deliver indiscriminate humanitarian assistance to those who are needed, who most needed person and people, and on the other hand, to cooperate with the UN agency, for example, and safe passages for those humanitarian assistance is really very important. So in this regard, we are ready to cooperate with the international, international agency, UN agency together. But the difficulty is like military junta not allowing those UN agency to deliver freely and effectively, and they do not guarantee the safety nets of those humanitarian assistance. So that's a challenge. So in this regard, I think the role of the the United States and others great donors, international donors countries are really very, very important and critical to put pressure, to have access to those who are really need humanitarian assistance on the ground. So of course we are talking about humanitarian assistance, but again, if there is no political and diplomatic pressure to follow international humanitarian law and principle by the military junta, we also need the pressure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, over there, I'm coming. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, Mike Mitchell, a longtime Burma activist. A couple of questions, twofold. To go back to Western Burma, what is, why have not, for example, the Arakan Army, for example, controls a vast swath of that western part of Burma, and their political apparatus not lined up yet behind the steering committee. And the second issue is, which I think we'll see surface here in Washington, and which I know the Bangladeshis are very active in, is talking about the Rohingya. Certainly with 700,000 plus, it's simply not sustainable to keep them where they are right now. And what has the NUG done to sort of address both of those topics? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. In terms of our relationship with the relationship between the Steering Council and Arakan Army, of course, the formation of the SCEF started through the many political dialogue within ourselves, not just only fighting together in military coordinations, but also we have a lot of discussions, political discussions for transitions and our political visions. How can we, work together? For example, in terms of engagement with international community. We also develop the frameworks for the alliance relation, for example. So Arakan Army is our alliance. We recently met, and also we have the alliance level working relationship between the Arakan Army and SCEF is just started. And another point that the question is about Rohingya. Of course, it's very challenging, still challenging. Before we addressing that Rohingya refugees and IDP camps issue, now we are increasing IDPs in other parts of Myanmar. So it's very important that the root causes of this, the humanitarian custodies, the humanitarian the crisis is very clear that the how and when can we stop military rule? If not, I think that will be not just only Rohingya community, but also others ethnics, even Burman majorities are suffering a lot. They are also facing like what the Rohingya community are suffering, facing the same experience that we are facing. It is one clear thing, is like the enemy is only one, military junta. So I think in this time, before we addressing the like kind of the short-term solution, I think there's no short-term and shortcut solution for that. I think we need to address the root causes of all this, the humanitarian crisis, and of course political crisis. So and then for the future, we are very clear that inclusivity, equality, and our unity and our the formations of the federal unions will have to be like kind of the more inclusive, and that is really very important and what we are fighting for. On the other hand, I would like to say so sorry for who are suffering in Bangladesh. I have noticed that along with others, Myanmar people who are suffering in mainland Myanmar, but I have noticed that hundreds of thousands of Rohingyas, refugees, are disappear in the sea recently, 2 days ago. I'm really sorry. Taking that opportunity, I would like to mention that I'm really sorry about that. And of course, that is why we are fighting for, not just only for the one ethnicity, one party, one groups. This revolution is fighting for all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. Anyone from over there? Sure. Go ahead, please.
For our leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, so we are asking the big campaign, Proof of Life. So what information you got, and what is your message to Trump administration? How he can, trying to help to release our Nobel Peace recipients, Aung San Suu Kyi, and thousands of political prisoners in Burma. Thank you.
Thank you so much for raising that questions. I really appreciate that. Yeah, of course. I also would like to link with ASEAN 5-point consensus and the release of Aung San Suu Kyi and political prisoners. ASEAN 5-point consensus mentioned that inclusive political dialogue. We do not deny inclusive dialogue. In order to make it happen, inclusive dialogue, Aung San Suu Kyi and the leaders have to realize inclusive dialogue. So it is very, I think, one of the requirements, not just only for the, simply as a human being, as a political prisoners. So it is also very much important for the ASEAN and also for the United States and also UN and Security Council to implement full implementations of ASEAN 5-point consensus, not just a tick, right? The packaging, it is a packaging. So to implement that package is really very important. The release of Aung San Suu Kyi and political prisoners. So reductions of violence, for example, it is really very affecting. If easing to become a conducive environment, for example, as long as they continue to bombing, as long as they continue to burning the villages, so how can we talk about that? So I think there are many things they need to do, even under the humanitarian title, for example, humanitarian perspective. Military junta need to do that kind of actions, need to take that actions. So I think on the other hand, Aung San Suu Kyi she doesn't even have as a personal rights, basic personal rights. That is what we need to raise also. I myself, you are also the political prisoner. Even criminals have the right to have access to their family. But she doesn't have. I think at least if, it's not a politics, actually. she's a human being, as a human perspective, and of course, as a prisoner rights. Whatever charges they're making, but I think at least international community, including United States government, have to put pressure to have access to her family. So that is why we are asking for, that is why we are advocating for. Of course, another issue is like for the political process, inclusive dialogue, that is what we all need. Daw San Suu Kyi and others, federal democratic stakeholders also. Yeah, that is, and also another question, whether she is still alive or not. No, I don't think, I don't have access. We don't have access. Even her family doesn't have access. How can we verify? There are many rumors. She was moved to one place and another place and then now in prisons, but it's just rumors. Of course, we have some access, but we don't have, access to verify. That is why, first things, if Daw San Suu Kyi is a political prisoner, she has the rights of basic political prisoner rights to have access to their family. It is really very important. If not, who knows whether she is alive or not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a question at the chat box. What is it? Okay, China's detention of U.S. citizen and Myanmar scholar, Mi Xin, has raised international concern. What is the NUG's assessment of this case, and what message does it send to both Beijing and Washington, D.C.? This is from Engine 9.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it is actually not good news. Whoever arrested, right? It's not good news, and we are very sorry and so sad. Actually shocked when we had that news. But I think he is an American citizen. I think American government has the right to do or take actions. I don't have the right to say on behalf of the United States government. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, final question, or the last question, if you have. Wait a moment. Can I give a chance to him? Okay, thank you. 真係請自由咯，
Thank you. Hi there, I'm Graydon Mitchell. I'm a student at Syracuse University, and I also live here. And my question to you is China's growing influence, especially in the north, and their control of rare earth mines and their essentially funding of the scam centers to further sow division. So their growing influence in the north, combined with how they're funding and equipping, China's funding and equipping the military government, giving them bombs and fuel for airstrikes and replacement parts and more weapons. So how is your engagement with China? Are you trying to get them to stop these things, or are you viewing them more as a hostile state that is actively helping to support the oppression of the Burmese people?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. First and foremost, let me be very clear. China is Myanmar's immediate neighbor, and it will always remain our neighbor. So I think the relationship between the Chinese authority and NUG, we have some level of engagement and channel. We know how to convey the message from our side, what we are doing, what are our perspective. So I think we are very much cautious about that, that relationship between China and Myanmar. Is whether, of course, during the time of the military junta, they are also very much difficult positions to engage with Myanmar stakeholders. But on the other hand, their legitimate concern is border security. So they, in terms of this concern and interest, they used to engage with not just only the military junta, actually all other stakeholders.
Okay, a short one. I cannot say no to you, sir. Okay, thank you. We would like to conclude by 1:30.
Thank you for the last opportunity. The very short question. I'm Kenton. I'm joining this as a researcher, not representing any organization. So I have a question about how closely collaborate between SCEF, NUG, NLD, and CRPH. So how closely collaborate the four organizations in this revolutionary movement? Are they in the same position, the same stance? That's my question.
Thank you. Well, thank you. The formations of the SCEF, so we have a three pillar. One pillar is people representative, which is based on the 2020 election result, represented by the elected member of parliament who were elected in 2020 elections, which represent by the CRPH. And of course, NUG. NUG is like kind of the combinations of elected member of parliaments and others, like kind of the stakeholders, EROs, and revolutionary forces. So this pillar, one pillar. Two pillar is ethnic revolutionary forces. So like CNF, KNU, KNPP, and KIO, KIA over there. But of course, we know that that is not enough yet. We have to expand through our alliance relations frameworks. So we started to meet with the other stakeholder. I will say the third pillar is women participations, women pillars. So, and then there is working levers. There's 3 layers working lever at policy level, leadership levels. Each and every organization chairs our policy and leaderships. And second layer is secretariats. I'm part of this. There are each and every 2 secretariats, each and every 2 from each organization. So 12 secretariats. And then the third layer, working lever, is like foreign affairs relation working committee level. So 3 pillars, 3 layers. That is how the SCEF is doing. So in this regard, NLD as a political party, I think it's not, as a political party, we don't have like kind of as we represent it is not as a party, as an elected member of parliament and people representatives. So it is in terms of this criteria, the way the institutions, demonstrate separately is not different nature of this like kind of the institutions. So not a political party. None of the political party is part of this SCEF. Is it? You got it? Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, we have to conclude. Okay, thank you. No, we don't have time. So I give you 2 times, so I'm so sorry we have to conclude. Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Yeah, but be my
No, I just want to mention about Burma Aid and break Burma Aid. What is the last engagement?
Okay. Can you please use? No, we cannot hear you. Okay.
For United States engagement and advocacy work, the Burma Aid and break Burma Aid, what is the latest situation and what is the level you already engaged? And our part, how we can engage more to the United States government. I'm already engaged with our senator. Senator also brought in, Senator Bank Holland. So we already engaged, but what we need to do more and what is energy and United States situation. Thanks.
Yeah. This is one of the reason I'm here. One of the key talking points to implement and to have not for NUG actually to this budgets, the appropriations should be effectively deliver to the ground for the sake of the people of Myanmar. So we also advocate for that. I will say very clearly, not for NUG, but for the people of Myanmar who are suffering. So we ask the questions. Of course, Congress is also asking the questions. It's part of our advocacy talking point tools. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our briefing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Honorable Foreign Minister taking the time to come to us, and we really appreciate those who are joining here in this room and also from online. We would like to keep 1 hour only this briefing because we will be sending this record to the congressional staff and the administration's others. So thanks again for your patience. And can you please record? Okay, good. So now we'll have a time for chats with the foreign minister. We hope to see you again. Thank you. Okay, record ka. ဖြုတ်လိုက်ပြီနော်ဟုတ်ပြီကဲဆွေးနွေးလို့ရပြီဆရာ Okay. I'm sorry for No, it's okay.